Hello and welcome to MindShifters Radio. I'm Tim Hayes. I'm your host for the first hour. And today is Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. And we're grateful for everyone who's choosing to join us here today, whether you're listening live or through the archives, as we spend another couple of hours teaching and supporting people in using some of the most powerful, effective, efficient, and accessible tools I've ever encountered. These tools are available absolutely free through the tireless efforts of Dr. Michael and Jeanie Ryce on the website at whyagain.org. You go to that website, click on the two words that say Start Here, located in the upper left-hand corner. It will take you to a page where you can download and read Chapter 24 of Dr. Michael Ryce's book. His book is titled, Why Is This Happening to Me Again? And that chapter of the book contains a narrative description and explanation of the primary tool in this work. That tool is called the Reality Management Worksheet, sometimes called the Reality Management Wake-Up Sheet. And it's a tool I've been using to great effect for over 21 years now. It's a head shaker for me. And I've used it to improve the quality of my life and most of my relationships, and perhaps even more importantly, to be able to turn any negative emotional experience I have into part of the infallible guidance system that each and every one of us has been given. You can also download the actual worksheet process itself. It's a simple PDF file. Click the link, download it, print it off, copy it as often as you'd like, and use it over and over again, absolutely free. You can also go to your app store and type in the three words HeartLand Forgiveness, and if you do that, before you're done typing the word forgiveness, you'll see the glowing heart icon. If you tap on that, it will let you download a completely free and private app that contains the Reality Management Worksheet. It contains an abbreviated version of that worksheet process. And it contains a copy of the Dragon Klingon game, which is a wonderful way to introduce these tools to even younger audiences. I hope people do all of that soon and often, primarily because it tends to improve the quality of people's lives, the more they actively apply these tools in their lives. And secondarily, because it tends to prompt comments, questions, answers, and testimonials. And if you had any idea how useful it is to us when you offer a question or a comment, you would talk nonstop. That's how important it is. So the other option is you can email me. You can email me at tjh@mindshifters-academy.org, or you can email Jeanie at jeanie@yagain.org. That's whyagain.org. And if we get a question or a comment from you through an email, we'll address it on the internet show, and then as time allows, send you a notification about what day and time that occurred, so you can listen back to the archives for your feedback or input. The other option is for you to join us live most weekdays from 11 to noon Central Time. You can go to zoom.us and enter the meeting ID number 853-2357-4173. 853-2357-4173. And I see that Susan Bingham has joined us. Welcome, Susan Bingham. What is your report, Miss Bionic Woman? You're headed in that direction with your new hip. I appreciated the message letting me know that things had gone okay. I hope you were continuing to heal, and I got the message of your podcast from your daughter. I haven't made the time to listen to it yet.
But she's doing well. Her pain's been under good control.
Talking to my grandson, so I'm not quite on yet, but thank you. I'm glad you got the podcast.
She can't talk anymore. Yeah, you can't talk anymore.
I'm going to mute myself because there's a lot going on, but I'll be on the show.
Excellent.
Great.
Well, congratulations and best wishes and Blessings coming your way for a complete and speedy recovery. Welcome, Celinda. Celinda was on the support group last night and asked me to give her some input or feedback after listening to yesterday's second hour of the show. Celinda, are you available for talking? Even though you are on, you're still muted. So, in lieu of...
I'm here. Yes. I have to remember to unmute with *6.
So, have you gone back? Have you revisited the show yesterday? Have you been able to hear it in its entirety?
I went back and listened to Friday's show in its entirety. I haven't listened to Monday's show in its entirety yet.
What about yesterday's?
I'm sorry, not Monday's, yesterday's.
But
I'm usually somewhere off in the week.
Were you on the call live yesterday for the whole call?
I don't think so. So that's why I want to listen to it again.
Okay.
I was very happy with the listening of Friday's call. I was very, I listened to it very carefully, the whole thing, even after our conversation ended. My conversation online ended.
And what was your impression of it? That you had, did you see how, according to Michael, you had come in like a bull in a china shop, bulldozing everything?
No.
Good.
What I did see, no, I did not. And
Good.
what I did see was that I didn't say both and. That was Carrie before I ever got on the phone. I came in about 38 minutes, 36 seconds, somewhere around there. I wrote it down. And what I said was all of the above. And it was the equivalent, it was the same, but it was different languaging. So I didn't feel like I was telling anyone that they were wrong. I seemed like I was saying, I feel an energy of someone being wrong, someone being right. I wasn't real clean about my languaging, an energy of rightness and wrongness.
Your language was this. I'm feeling an energy around this conversation of my way is the right way to interpret this. That was my
intention.
That's what you said. That's the quote, right? Transcribed from...
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I felt good about that.
And as well you should. So.
And it was... Go ahead.
No, so go ahead. What you were asking me to take a look at it and listen to it, and
right.
And
right.
I have done that, and now I'm asking for your guidance. Right.
Yes.
We're walking through a minefield blindfolded, so you lead.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Is that like pushing me in front of the bear?
Yes. I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you when that happens.
That's no trick. Okay. Now, I didn't feel any energy, pushback energy of any kind, Friday. I was happy. I was realizing that, like you were saying in the support group, I give TMI. I go on and I keep linking things. I do. I'm the connector. So I just realized that I'm always seeking connection of some kind and sharing connection of some kind, whether it's garden seeds or whatever. So I realized where I had pushed, at what point I had pushed, and that was when I said started on a whole new subject about the Trinity. So I'm looking at that,
that piece is not in as far as I can read this from having listened to both. That piece has nothing to do with what Michael was trying to put out there yesterday.
Okay, I'll go back and listen. Go ahead.
Well, I believe it was clearly that you said what I just read from the transcript. That's the only way my mind can make sense of how agitated or stimulated or moved to donate an entire hour of the internet show to that conversation. That's the only piece in it that makes any sense to me, is that someone took offense to your words.
I don't see it that way.
That was the energy.
Hold on a minute, Susan. Go ahead, Celinda.
When I finished listening to last night's show, and actually on Friday when I finished listening, I didn't feel any energy in myself of being offended, and I didn't feel any energy in Michael of being offended at the end of Friday's show. And I also am aware of how often I have taken offense when someone else had no intention of offering offense, and because of my responsibility for my interpretation of anything. So I basically felt everything was okay. And I also felt that after Tuesday's conversation, but I'll report back more when I listen to it, that's what I was trying to share when I said standing in place, or standing on the ground of my being. It has to do with allowance, which you have brought home so many times about acceptance and allowance. That we all have our foibles, we all have our blind spots, and I better start looking at mine. And so I was at peace Friday when I left, because when I reread the whole transcript as I was listening to the show of Friday, I thought, everybody has a valid point of view, and nobody has the whole truth, especially me. And we all get caught in our 9-bit mind, this worship of logic and truth and getting stuck in our survival brain. Michael has a lot of investment in his 60 years. I can see how he could get very protective of it. And I understand. And when I say I understand, I have the sense of I understand from the ground of my being. And I was totally happy with his point of view as his truth for him. Those two little words, the truth for me, is my magic key to be totally content. Oh, okay, there's squeak room for me too. And my point of view. That's it.
All right. Susan, you wanted to offer something?
Yeah, I do want to offer something. So, yeah, again, just all of us seeing, you get 10 people in the room and everybody perceives it differently. So, Celinda, first of all, I want to say thank you to you for receiving what Michael was offering, and again, recognizing that was through the lens of his reality, because I didn't fully see it the way he saw it. And I think I attempted to say that. What I could perceive, there was three of, me, Carrie, and him, and it felt like for me. And then I just want to say one thing before I go into my story. So you said, I am feeling as though the energy is. And then Michael always says, if you're feeling it, it belongs to you, right? If we're feeling it, it belongs to ourselves. So that even that statement that you said, I'm feeling this, whatever you're feeling, it's your feeling. That I thought is brilliant that Tim brought that in, and to see where that leads and the intention behind the feeling. And for me, I felt we were all trying to describe something that's indescribable. We're trying to I haven't listened to the transcript again, but I will, or listen to the show again, but I will. But just reflecting back through my mind, I was coming up against cognitive dissonance in that moment. And my mind was trying to describe something that was, what I had a sense of knowing was beyond it. Now it was coming in at that exact moment. And I felt you did a pattern interrupter, brought me right to the present moment of that there was something much more deeper than words, and my mind trying to make meaning of it. So I really appreciated you interjecting there. And once you interjected, I also felt an energy that I would say, I'm going to use this word. Once this happened, and I think Carrie said so also, it didn't feel quite complete. And whatever that means for each of us, and that's for me to explore. But yeah, I see this as a beautiful opportunity. I thought Michael did a great job. And I felt, something didn't feel complete on the call. And so him coming back and bringing it back around, I got so much insight of what he said, just in my life in general. Being able to come and if it's not clean, and we're a collective group, that we get to bring ourselves to the table and then ask the question to what you say, Dr. Tim. And I love it, because I'm really trying to hold on to this. When I'm offering, what is my intention behind it? Is it coming from my wounded space, or is it really coming from the truth of my being? And sitting in that state of being, and not to beat myself up, because my adaptive survival strategies are there because they got me right here. And I love me for getting myself here, and they're not required. So I came away from the call even yesterday. I felt completely full, and being able to go deeper into knowing myself so much more deeper. And yes, I also agree with that. I mean, Tim didn't say this, but this bulldozing, whatever felt, that was up for Dr. Ryce. I didn't feel that. I just felt, you did a pattern interrupter for me, and then I got to go to a deeper space. So that's what I wanted to offer. And I love the fact, one other thing, that we get to be a family like this, that we get to have these discussions, and everybody gets to grow from them and go look at themselves more deeply. I think that's just brilliant. And then we have both Dr. Tim and that to flesh it out even deeper. And I wish I could have been on the call last night. I really would have loved to been on the call.
You didn't hear what I said about you last night because you weren't on the call.
Yeah.
And I said that I felt that so many of our patterns, even though they were different and unique for each of us, I never got beaten consistently.
Yeah.
So, and it, from degree rather than kind, it was different, of course. Mm-hmm. But I have such a resonance with you, Susan. Mm-hmm. And I must tell you that when I perceived of you standing up for me, that's how I took it. For my perspective, I actually got tears in my eyes.
Oh.
And if you'd have been, I still do. Because my whole conversation last night in the support group was about feeling so alone.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And I
appreciate their tears of appreciation.
Thank you. And I saw you, and actually that pattern interrupter, I felt it cleared the field so we could come to the truth. So I think you bring that in spades. And I appreciated that.
And I thank Michael for bringing it up. He could have stewed in his own juices and never brought that up. And that took courage for him. Mm-hmm. Just that one step. And like I told last night in the group, was it my total projection? Was it Michael's total projection? Or was it the pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah, and that's the best part. That's the best part. This whole journey is to know ourselves more deeply like this, and the space that we can, and hopefully Michael listens to this show. I'll bring it up when the next one, that come back and listen to Tim facilitating this, because that's what we're here for, to walk each other home and meet ourselves at all of our spaces, our shadows and our light. And I got to tell you what happened. So I talked to Michael after the call because this is what happened for me when he said at the beginning, just to put what happens in somebody's reality, at the beginning when he said somebody bulldozed, right, all that, I right away said, this is exactly what happened. I'm in trouble. I'm going to be getting reamed out. And I'm going to get, I made up a whole bunch of meaning making that I'm going to be kicked off the show. And oh my gosh. So
I can so relate to that.
Oh my goodness. So I sat there and then I did a worksheet. And guess what I found? I found a memory. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, 3 years old. And my father's across from me, and I have 2 brothers to my left. I don't have a visual where my mom and my twin brother were, but I'm going to assume they're on my right. And we lived in this little shack. But anyways, my father wanted my one brother to drink this unpasteurized milk that we got from a cow, and my brother didn't want to, and he went over there and beat him. And then, I think he tried to force it down his throat. My brother got sick, and then I stood up for my brother, and I got beat. And then this whole thread, so it was beautiful because the whole thread of me seeking that, right, all of a sudden beating, separation, then longing for connection, and then seeking connection. Oh, I could just, that whole pattern got unraveled. Right there, I got to see it. Lots of tears came with it, but it was the most, I'm so grateful for everything that unfolded yesterday, because I really got to know myself more deeply and see these patterns. So if that's an invitation for us all. That I appreciate you so
much.
And
I knew that it was me the minute he opened his mouth. I mean, I just had an intuitive hit. This is about you, Celinda. So, and in whatever that context is. Yeah, okay.
And I think this is not, I want to just, this what I see is this is an invitation for, and even in the moment when it came up for me, that all of me is invited to exist at the table.
That's right.
All of you is invited.
It's that wonderful smorgasbord of life, dear heart.
Yeah, and the thing is, the thing I really want all of us to get, I'm talking to myself through you, that all of me is invited. I can be impatient, I can overtalk, I overthink. Oh my gosh. And yes.
Isn't that sweet? That's what the way of mastery is talking about.
Yeah.
That you're right. We bring the whole enchilada of ourselves.
Yeah. And
it's all okay. That's what Tim says. Dr. Tim says every day. He talks about the voice of mastery, the way of mastery. He's talking about that surrender, that sweet surrender. And that acceptance and that allowance and that intention and that desire. And it's all, and the humility, which all of us could take a little humility pill now and then.
It's just, it's so, and then, so I would say, like even Dr. Ryce, all of him is invited too. He's, yes, he's a teacher,
That's right.
But he still has his wound, like the stuff's up for him, right? And I want to just say, because I'm claiming it for myself right now and saying this, and I'm saying it to you because you're my mirror, especially, that all of you is invited to exist in my presence.
Wonderful, sweetheart. And you know what? After talking with Dr. Tim last night in the support group, I am totally uninterested. I'm going to take not out because it seems to be a trigger word. I am totally uninterested in the 18-page workbook.
Mm.
It just, and my whole self says, no, not that.
Yeah, and you get to choose that's the best part of knowing thyself. You get to say that's not for me, and we all get to.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you, and like I said, I wish I was there, but I was decorating the Christmas tree with my beautiful son and my previous husband, and we had just a magical time. So I was thinking of the group last night in my joyous spirit of Christmas. So which is new, which is new
thank
for me.
You,
so.
And thank you, Dr. Tim, for letting Susan and me have this very, very detailed dialogue.
Yeah, thank you.
You're most welcome and deserving. Anybody else want to chime in? Anybody who has either had something get stirred up for them listening to this, or from listening to Friday's show or yesterday's second hour with Michael? Well, so we have some energy sensitive people on the call. What are your spidey senses telling you?
Are you speaking to anyone in particular?
Anybody who claims to have emotional sensitivity or energy sensitivity. Nothing, huh?
I'll speak up, but are you willing to hear what I'm about to say? That's my question. I know it's hard to say. It's hard to say this because I don't know if you will want to hear what I'm about to say because it pertains to you and Dr. Ryce.
Well, be brave.
Okay, I'm going to be brave. So, and I'm just going to be very brave. So I see an opportunity for deep healing. And what I know for certain is as I sit before you, I experience love. And I know when I sit before Dr. Ryce, I experience love. When I am in the awareness of you two about each other, I perceive tension. And I even asked Dr. Ryce when I was at the intensive, when I arrived, I asked what's going on between you two. And he was very, and I said a prayer with him there, and he spoke, he didn't go into detail, but there's something there. He said he wasn't completely sure on it either, and I don't know. And so I asked if he would be willing to let me say a prayer. And so he said yes. So I held the love that you are, and I held the love that he is, and I asked for healing. Because you are a teacher of God, and he is a teacher of God. And whatever's in the way of that expression, I see an opportunity for deep healing to whatever is the resisting energy between the both of you, to find the truth. And so whatever may have come up yesterday when you were listening to what Dr. Ryce was saying, as another soul who also is, processing his Satan, the energy of resistance in his bloodline or his geometry, holding the space that he heals that And if anything came up for you in that regard, listening to him, and with a charge, that also for you, that you find what that is, the resistance in you, and bring healing.
And what part of that is that you're thinking I wouldn't want to hear?
I didn't know, because I've sometimes in my interactions, and this is mine, was I feeling, I sensed an energy of resistance. That's what I will say. I could just feel resistance. And there's an overlay of something, I don't know what the energy is. I don't know, but there's an energy there that's in a blockage to truth. That's all I know. And I don't know what that is. I just see two beautiful lights of God before me. And there's a tension between those two lights that I don't know, but I can perceive it.
Yeah, well, as I so often say, there just are no words for this. And to be in any way viewed as a leader of a group or a community, to me, brings about thoughts of deep responsibility, and I would say the word propriety comes to mind. Does that word mean anything to you?
When I hear the word propriety, I right away think ownership.
Okay, think in terms of impropriety.
That would be non-ownership, impropriety. So not
ownership. If you look up the word impropriety.
So impropriety right now in my mind means, falling short of that you're being less than authentic. That's what I don't know the meaning, and that's just what's coming in.
So the definition for impropriety is a failure to observe standards or show due honesty or modesty. In other words, improper language, behavior, or character.
Mm-hmm.
That's impropriety.
Yeah.
Propriety is the opposite of that.
Yeah, so if I was in propriety.
Not about owning anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Being.
It's about, as I'm using the word, as it's coming to me,
mm-hmm.
that if someone tells me they view me as a leader of a group or whatever, team or whatever, that conjures up for me a tremendous responsibility and sense of propriety, need for propriety. To observe the higher standards, to not hold anybody else to a standard that I wouldn't hold myself to, etc. And one might imagine that after 21 years, or 22 or 23, whatever it's been since I was at both this work, but it's been 21 and a half years of holding the Tuesday support group, and then another 13 of holding the Thursday support group, and then of course the soon-to-be 15 years of 1 hour a day, 5 days a week internet show. One might imagine that I have a significant investment in the outcome.
Yes, you do.
Of any interaction I have, either in the context of this community or with any individual, even if it's not.
Are you breathing?
Even if it's not in the context of this community. So the significant investment that I have is focused on optimal benefit and functioning for the community. As one might imagine is demonstrated by the consistent participation and by the financial arrangement. So as I'm here, and this is coming up, whether it comes up on a support group or it comes up in the internet show, I'm using all the tools I have, whether I'm in the middle of talking in the show or I'm between sessions, to try to help have whatever I contribute be most likely to have benefit to the community. And with that being said, I don't think I should say anything else.
Okay, so, and then can I make an offering of what you said?
Certainly.
So, so even, you know, your desire to have optimal benefit for the community, and what you're saying, so there's an element still of attachment to form and outcome.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so as we sit in the truth of God, and what is, you said this yesterday in Krishnamurti's talk, what is truly unknown cannot be known.
What's true.
What's true.
What's new and true can't be known.
Okay, and the unknown can't be known, right? So what's true cannot be known. So if we sit in the presence of experience, and the other thing, I want to just hold that for a moment, and also do not judge me on my past because I don't live there anymore. And when we're overlaying past experiences from a known reality into the present moment, nothing new can come in. It cannot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you're talking, to my way of thinking, in these broad generalities.
Yeah.
Which we can read in a book. What do you have to offer that's specific to what's happening here?
Well, I will say specific then, if you're open, because you just mentioned about showing up and being responsible and proprietary and improprietary. I would like to know where that might be a power person dynamic being overlaid in your reality. So, and when we're in blockage of truth, we can't see it, and I can tell you in my own experience, you can't see what you can't see. Now, somebody outside of your jar, looking in, I perceive an energy, but I can't find it for you, and that's a position of inquiry.
But you can't know enough of substance unless you were in the middle of it when it happened, and or unless someone who was involved in it was willing and able to share that with you.
Yeah. And I'm just, so your voice is shaking. You're getting the timbre in your voice is shaking. I don't know if you're breathing. I don't know what's up. That's within you.
What's up.
No, I don't.
Know what's up.
No, I don't know.
And so from that position,
yeah,
it would be my method, my approach would be to either leave it alone or to only ask rather than tell. And I just finished saying, at this stage, I don't think it would be useful for me to say more about this.
You asked, so when the beginning of this conversation, you invited me to say my position, which I did. There was an invitation there, and then now you're saying, and then so then I will leave it there. And all I know, and I'm just from one soul to another, the journey is our salvation, and there's only one of us here. And there's only one here. It's not ever in separation. So whatever is holding us in separation of anything, I got my work to do. When I show up in separation, I have to face myself. And so I just offer that, and I'm willing to see what I see, and you get to take it as you see it and go from there. Just doing it only from a place of love is my intention. And my own healing.
May I share, or is this appropriate?
Yeah, go ahead, Celinda.
What I'm learning in my relationship with Larry, a lot of things about myself. I have an overriding desire for connection and to make peace, to the point where I get very uncomfortable when there's dissension. And what I'm learning is with my relationship with Larry is that when we're in dissension, that can be the most valuable learning place possible. And it's okay to allow it. And it's okay to, now this is in my sane mind, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping I'm speaking from my sane mind. My first priority is to be proprietary, which I love that word. Thank you for bringing it up, both of you, and your interpretations of it and understandings of it. And I am responsible for my interpretation and what I see. And there's no way I'm going to get beyond my past, because there is no past. I carry it with me, right here, right now. And so all I share with you all is that it's all good. It is the process. I admire and respect and honor both of you, all of us. I'm struggling with myself, and that's good. Thank you for what you said, Susan. And I just want to say it's all good. And if someone will not come to the table for any reason because it's too painful, or they just are, it's so locked down they can't access it, we'll just let it be. Good old John Lennon. I would love to make one offer, is that anybody who admires Richard Bach, go see if you can find at the library his book, One. And in that book, there's only one chapter I remember really profoundly, and that was a chapter on the keeper of the faith. And I would highly recommend, or not even recommend, that's not a good word, I would offer, I like that, I would offer that you find that and read that chapter. I read it 40 years ago, it changed my life in one part. I'm due to read it again to see if I still have the same impression, but I offer it as a possibility. And it's your choice. And thank you.
You're welcome.
We're all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Well, I will chime in. This is Sally, and It's so nice that I don't have to be driving or multitasking right now because I can actually talk. And I want to share gratitude for the conversation between Susan and Tim, because I learned from Tim's word choices how to respond when there's a situation where a statement has been made instead of more inquiry. You know, sometimes in my own life, I have felt something, but I haven't spent the time to discern what part of it is mine and what part of it might be not mine, or you know, somebody else's activation. And if I haven't spent time with that, and I go right into assuming that the way I'm feeling about something is the truth, sometimes it leads to more problems, or more apparent separation. So I love the word choices that, Tim, you used to describe. There's so much additional information that others don't have about dynamics and, you know, history or whatever. And that inquiry is always important. And also that idea of holding space for something to be as it needs to be for a time. This is kind of what I ascertained from the semi-distracted listening I was doing as I was driving in holiday traffic. But I was grateful for it because of the way I'm always learning how to use words in different situations in order to keep peace and keep connection, and also attend to myself and my own integrity. So I wanted to chime in with gratitude, and that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you for expressing the gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So with about 8 or 9 minutes left, I will say my hope, as far as I pour my mind energy into those kinds of thoughts, is that as people uncover whatever they uncover or discern whatever they discern, the biggest thing they're left with when they hear, if they've lived through it, they hear the whole story of Dr. Michael Ryce or the whole story of Tim Hayes or whatever, that what they hear is right in front of them, completely beyond any denial, the power of these tools to restore one to clarity, peace, calm, compassion in some of the most gruelingly intense situations that we can create for each other in this fantasy world that we have here, this community, in this physical realm. So my hope is that if people hear all the details and they know all the this and that juicy tidbits, etc., that what they're left with most is this living demonstration that if you are willing to apply these tools, they will change your life for the better. And if that's the case, if I have that realization, then my only concerted focus of mind energy is inside myself to get better at applying those tools.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the kind of situation that happened not too long ago. I had a situation with, and I tried to talk about it on the internet show. It's one of those things where the words they just fall so short. And yet, my son had come to me and told me a story about an interaction between him and a significant individual in his life. And I was just filled with heartwarming, pride for him, congratulations for him, joy for him, because of how he handled a really difficult life situation.
Oh.
And yet, if I were to explain that to somebody, and if I really wanted them to have the impact of how significant his choices were and his behaviors were, I would have to say things that in this culture would probably be taken as an attack on this other person that he was interacting with. And so because of the system that we're in and because of the limitations of our language, I still haven't found a way to communicate effectively about that. And yet, that's still my focus. Can I get better through each day's experiences? I don't have to go out and look for things to trigger my upset. Life will bring me plenty to help show me what's stuck in me. Like, what's the energy in me that was at the level of just a notch or two below panic attack through most of this call today? What is that energy in me? And what are the conclusions that I hold? Those have to be put on or surrendered to the use of some kind of tool, because what my conscious logical mind will tell me about this has never led to peace or resolution. What the use of tools over the past 7+ years has done is provide relief, provide compassion, provide joy. And I can't think my way to those states when what Guy Finley would call the mechanical level of mind is churning in what it's supposed to do, right? It's just supposed to collect what has been programmed into it and then spit it out when it's called up. The point is, most of us have completely missed the idea that we're just going back to the same well and calling up answers from the series of answers we've programmed in over time. And so it's not that the intellect is not the source of wisdom at this level, or at the spiritual level, or at the emotional level. That the intellect has this very limited capacity to just name. And so that's why I was bringing us back to the not that, Now, what would you call this? Well, not that. I wouldn't call it that. It's not exactly this. And as I keep eliminating what my thoughts will tell me about the thing, I usher myself closer to the point where I get a lived experience of awareness about what's going on in me. What is that? What is that energy that's just bubbling over or churning in some area? And the more I understand through my own willingness to just keep turning the focus inside and then apply the tools, whether it's the breath work or the EFT tapping or the Reality Management Worksheet process or the targeted journaling, knowing, and just, I like to recite the forgiveness pattern. It's this collection of statements that I kind of gathered them from a whole host of people who were expert at doing the Reality Management Worksheet over the years. I just keep repeating. I cancel my need to be right. I cancel my need for anyone or anything to change, including myself. I specifically cancel my goal, whatever goals might still be running that are either prompting or necessitating the spin of this energy, which is so intense within me, that I practice those statements in tandem with the breath work and the EFT tapping. And I condition myself to just relax because I'm a little blue marble floating through space. I'm just one of what 8 billion little energy packets floating around. I am like a sardine in the ocean. Right? How significant is a single sardine in the ocean? Well, to the average whale, not that significant, but to the sardine, it's like I'm pretty significant, and my life is really important. And so whatever I attach my mind energy to that I've identified with, it can be part of what I use to generate upset. And yet, as a person who likes to have some kind of a sense of logic to his work, who's recognized that whenever my emotional intensity is too high, I can't function logically. I might draw all kinds of logical scenarios that seem wonderful, but when the conclusion is negative, I know that there's a whole slew of false premises within that logical structure. And when I find them, it just falls apart. And I just keep reminding myself of that, right? Like Dr. Michael Ryce said in one of his first website or worksheets, if I'm in pain, I'm in error. Now, he's modified that a little bit over the years to soften it up, and now it reads, if I'm in pain, my thinking is in error. But if I can just stick to that, if I can be as rigorous with that set of observations as I used to be with the rigor I would pour into my belief system, my guess is my life will just keep getting better because it's only gotten better the last 21 years I've been doing this.
Yes, sir.
So I invite all of us to remember that we come from love. We're made of the stuff that we call love. We actually are love. And everything else is false. And oddly enough, part of my mind says, don't say this one right now because it's not true. Every single time things did not go the way I thought they should, they always turned out far better than I ever thought they could. Blessings.